Male passengers can also enjoy the stockings by the thighs. I like to see the stewardess what that show thighs show stockings of this kind. Then I thought of the theme of this video. Well, it is often asked to me before, that is, you will not encounter sexual harassment on the plane. This behavior. Many people, including some of my friends outside the circle, will ask to answer your interest. Is it true that flight attendants will encounter some harassment on the plane? The answer is yes. I have encountered it as once I flew intercontinental routes. Then, a passenger was dressed like a Middle Eastern kind of passenger, and he was serving dinner. His cell phone, that is, his phone screen to show you. Not that I intended to look at his phone, but I happened to see what's on the phone screen at that angle. This kind of an angle is browsing some yellow website. Then I felt very embarrassed, and then the question this traveler also smiled at me. I can only be very embarrassed to put this meal there, and then immediately go away. The first thing that I did was talk to my chief steward about this matter, and it just so happened that we are another channel of our service area into the steward is a boy, and then the chief steward changed the number of our 2 seats. On the follow-up, there is no other trouble, but I think this counts, right? The main thing is that he took advantage of my smile. To be honest, at that moment, I was a little hairy inside. Then there was another time when I was greeting passengers. Sometimes the stewardess would not stand to the seam of the seat inside well. Then I could feel a passenger. He took the hand so rubbed my waist this part a little. The first time I did not feel anything, but after about half a minute, I felt him again rubbed me, and in my eyes about behind the side of the back of this position, they have the sound of laughter. Then I was distraught. I just turned my head and questioned him. I said, "What are you doing?" The traveler was confused because he probably did not expect me to ask him so seriously. Anyway, you all know I have a terrible temper, right? There are things that I can't tolerate on the plane, and I don't put up with them. I'm not going to put up with it. Then I called the safety officer or something to deal with the follow-up of some things. Well, there is also a thing that my friend encountered, is that he was flying when a passenger asked him directly, "You stockings cannot send me and so on," this kind of a statement it. My friend was very embarrassed at the time and went to talk to her flight attendant. It was a coincidence that the head steward was a man, and then the male head steward came over and said to the passenger, "You want socks, my socks, do you want them?" Quite embarrassing but also quite funny a thing, huh? The same thing, this matter, the follow-up also carried out some treatment, not that you think it is here to the end, cannot be the end of the. Suppose this thing steward wants to call the police. In that case, this thing he will certainly rise to the height of this can call the police. You do not think this thing, it does not matter what the follow-up will not have to deal with, not so you guys are fine that is, I do not care if you think so in the brain or mouth high on what to say. Do not do this is to touch the stewardess thigh what? This kind of thought, you better have not had. If you have, you are a warrior, you will get on the plane to practice, you see what kind of consequences you will have for yourself. There are a lot of children who want to do this work, especially girls. I have seen a lot of this kind of thing, said the family does not agree home feel unsafe or something like that. I think part of this insecurity is derived from some of the work at height, such as the feeling that the aircraft is unsafe. But the more significant part, because my father felt that way, he just thinks I will encounter some of this kind of trouble. But I think if a girl encountered this kind of thing, the first time you must go very strict to stop him. You don't think that is to hold back and swallow your anger, or that playfulness will pass. You this way will encourage them. These are called what arrogance, you know? It must be the first time to stop them. You are flying, including your real life is the same, you are not alone, right? You have your colleagues, you have your friends, you have a collective who can help you solve these problems. Then the follow-up and very important must be sure to, such as forensics, such as you want to do cabin crew, then you around the passenger testimony, right? Or if you encounter some more severe behavior, I think some of your follow-up processes and a timely report are critical. Don't be afraid. It's not easy for girls to live, they must learn to protect themselves, okay?